Okay, picture this for a second. Imagine someone hands you a steaming, glowing cup. But it's not your morning coffee or tea. It is actual, bubbling, molten lava. If you raise that cup to your lips and actually took a gulp, what would happen in the very first 5 seconds? Like, would you even be able to survive a single second?
You know, the answer to what actually happens inside the human body when it comes face to face with that kind of extreme geological force is so much more shocking than you might think. Make sure you stick around for this entire explainer because we're going to trace this completely hypothetical journey second by second. And trust me, the biological reality of it is truly mind-blowing.
Right off the bat, let's establish the golden rule here. Drinking lava is purely a scientific thought experiment. It's completely impossible and obviously incredibly dangerous. You should absolutely never, ever try to get near lava or interact with it in any way. We're strictly using this wild, fictional scenario today to dig into some very real and honestly fascinating science about human biology and Earth's geology.
So before we can map out its path through the body, what exactly are we dealing with? Well, lava is hot, molten, or semi-fluid rock. When it's deep underground, it's called magma, but the absolute second it hits the surface, boom, it's lava. And it gets unbelievably hot. We're talking sometimes topping 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The rock is literally glowing red and orange just from pure heat energy.
Here's how we're going to break down this unstoppable force. First, we'll look at the lips and mouth. Next, we'll travel through the throat. And finally, deep inside the body.
Let's start right at the beginning. Section 1, the first second, the lips and mouth.
The very instant that glowing lava gets anywhere near your face, you're introducing the unimaginable, crushing temperature of molten rock to the incredibly delicate limits of human skin. The radiant heat alone would cause immediate severe damage before the liquid even made physical contact with your lips. It's just a devastating thermal shock. But the mouth is really only the very beginning of this catastrophic biological chain reaction.
Moving downward, we arrive at part 2, through the throat. And now what's really interesting about this next phase is,
If the lava somehow passed your destroyed mouth, it would fundamentally change how your body even functions. Your throat is lined with all these super sensitive tissues, right? They're perfectly designed to push food and water down, but against that blistering, radiating heat, swallowing literally becomes physically impossible. The heat instantly destroys the nerves, the muscles, the soft tissues. The entire mechanical function of your throat completely ceases to exist.
Part 3. Deep inside the body. Now, let's just imagine the impossible scenario, where lava actually reaches the stomach and your internal organs.
The hard truth, the human body cannot survive these temperatures, period. Look, our biology is amazingly resilient in a lot of ways, but it has absolute thermal limits. Our internal organs are mostly made of water and very delicate tissues. When you expose them to the immense, sustained thermal energy of molten rock, those biological structures just fail completely. The water in your body would literally flash boil and your internal tissues would be destroyed in a fraction of a second. There's just zero biological defense against that level of sustained heat.
Having seen our absolute biological limits, let's pivot. Part 4, the science of molten rock. Because the earth science behind this destructive force is honestly amazing.
So lava is formed deep within the earth as magma, melting solid rock under intense heat and pressure. And there are actually different kinds of lava flows. Some, like Pahoho, flows super fast, kind of like a fiery river, while others, like Ah, are thick, slow, and blocky. Volcanoes basically act as the Earth's giant pressure valves, and the lava glows red hot strictly because of its extreme heat energy. Now, knowing how crazy hot and powerful it is, would you ever want to get close enough to see lava in real life?
Part 5. Can anything survive lava? If the human body fails instantly, what about other stuff on our planet?
Think about everyday stuff. If you introduce water or ice to lava, it instantly flashes into steam, which actually often causes a violent explosion. What about tough metals, like steel? Well, lava's temperature is so incredibly high that steel just melts right into a glowing puddle. And what about ultra-hard materials? Believe it or not, even a diamond, under the right conditions and the sustained heat of a lava flow, will eventually burn. Lava is pretty much the ultimate equalizer.
Which leads us to a very human question in Part 6. Can humans ever resist lava?
When we put human innovation up against raw geology, the results are, well, they're pretty humbling.
We have incredible technology today, right? Heavy-duty fire-resistant suits used by emergency responders, advanced heat shields, spacecraft tech designed to survive the insane friction of re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. Scientists are even cooking up advanced future materials right now. But even with all of those external shields, you still couldn't drink lava. The concentrated internal thermal energy would completely bypass all that external protection. Technology might shield our outside for a little bit, but it cannot change our internal biological limits.
All right, part 7. Amazing volcano facts. Because for all its scary, destructive power, molten rock actually has incredibly positive, life-giving aspects for our planet.
These facts always blow my mind. First up, lava is actually rarely the deadliest volcanic hazard. Things like fast-moving ash clouds and toxic gases are usually far more dangerous to humans. Second, volcanoes actually create brand new land. They are continuously expanding islands and continents. Third, volcanoes were hugely instrumental in shaping the early Earth, literally helping to form the atmosphere we breathe right now. And finally, once lava cools and breaks down over thousands of years, volcanic soil becomes highly fertile. So while lava is destructive in the moment, it's absolutely vital for shaping our planet and, growing the crops for your morning cup of coffee.
Part 8. The final scientific verdict. What's the ultimate conclusion on human limits versus extreme geology?
The clear, totally undeniable answer is that the human body cannot survive. Drinking lava is entirely impossible. The intense radiant heat, the instant tissue destruction, and the overwhelming thermal energy mean the human body completely fails upon contact. You simply cannot out-engineer biology from the inside out. And that is exactly why you must always practice real-world volcano safety, respect nature's boundaries, and never, ever get close to an active flow. Sometimes the craziest questions really do teach us the most amazing science. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I'd love to know what you think, so let me know in the comments. What completely impossible what-if scenario should we tackle next? If you could magically withstand the heat, what's the one volcano on Earth you'd want to look inside? Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you on the next explainer.